Hello everyone, I apologise for being late. We are back with ESRL here in Hungary today, and it looks like Cialda is going to be the first to set a lap. I do apologise for the late start, but here we are. Cialda coming down to the end of sector 1, 26.7 through there, flicks the car through turn number 5. And round turn 6, which used to be very tricky to get around, not anymore in these cars. Through the tricky chicane, gets it done, just flicks the wheel across, throws the car around all of these corners, does the Italian, and now into the final sector after this very tricky high-speed corner, gets it right. 53.0 in sector 2, into the, the last few corners, excuse me. Cialda really throwing the wheel around these corners at this circuit, which is a technique I see quite often with these cars, but it does wear the tyres quite a bit in the race. Down the line, a 1:14.2 is the initial pace from Cialda. GP7, a newbie to ESRL, goes in second place, about 4 tenths down in the Aston Martin. Got the Mercedes of Vaderboy goes P3, and then Robin Brain beats him to P3, but both of them quite a way off of the top two. Who's next? It's going to be Jack Alacco across the line, P3, a 16.6 for the Scottish driver. Next up is going to be Jonathan, the Season 8 Tier 2 champion in APPF1, but he has invalidated, so he's going to have to try again. What about Marcus, who's back on circuit? He's also... So it's on to the reigning champion, Johnny Stokes, across the line. What's it going to be for him? P2 beats GP7 to the front row, and Martin once again takes his usual spot at the front of the field. The 14.1 just about beating Martin by less than a tenth. Carlito coming through at the moment in sector 1. I believe that's Scott coming across for another lap, must have invalidated. Tahasin into the pit. As is his teammate for today, Cialda, but Tahasin is supposed to be in a Williams, so keep that in mind. His real team is the Williams, just a bit of a mix-up as they were getting things ready. Hello to Speed in the chat. Your power is on. Hopefully you can make it. Excellent. Yeah, I did see about your power going out, so hopefully that's all fixed now. Who's going to be next across the line to set a lap? Is it going to be Vaderboy? Yes, it is, but he has invalidated, but he is going again on the same tyres once again, as is Robin Brain coming through turn 1 as Speed Alcoholic joins the session. Is this Jonathan going to P5 in the Ferrari and being beaten to that position by Marcus? There's a big gap at the moment between the top 5 and then the next 4 cars. Could be a race of 2 groups, this one, as the other McLaren of Trugster comes to the line for P5 as well. Good stuff from Trug there in the McLaren. You've got Scott coming across for P7, bridges that gap a little bit between the 2 groups. And then next across the line is going to be, I believe, the Haas of Aces, who's being chased by, I think that's Robin Brain. Yeah, it is Robin Brain, and Robin's going to have his lap ruined here just because he's faster than Aces. That's the only reason here. So it's a little unfortunate for the VCarb driver as they come through the final corner. Aces is going to set a 1 minute. A 1 minute 15.5, and Robin Brain just overtakes him into turn 1, but only a 1 minute 15.4 for him, or 0.1 for him rather, which puts him P7, but I think there's more to come from that VCarb driver. Vaderboy does improve a little bit, but stays in last place for now. Who's going to be next? Tahasin outlap, Womack's outlap as well, but coming to the end of it. Hope I'm doing well. Thank you, Speed. I'm not doing too bad. I've had a decent day. Won both F2 races just now, so that was a good start. Good evening, Marcus. And Speed has left the session because he can't take control of a car. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it just does that. It just doesn't let you take control, which is irritating, but there we go. Going in cockpit cam tonight for fun, says Marcus. All right. Good luck and good evening. Womack's coming through sector 1 in the meantime to set his first lap of the session. 29.0 through that first sector. Throws the car around turn 5. And into 6 he goes. Is that turn 5? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's turn 4. I don't think either of those kinks count as corners, so it's turn 4 is the one they throw the car through. Womack's quite slow through this second sector so far. Quite conservative, particularly through those right-left corners. Looks like he went full throttle through there. Oh, brakes very early though. I think he is abandoning this run. He certainly is, as speed back in the session. Hopefully he can take control of a car this time. We've got GP7 starting a lap, a tenth and a half up in the first sector. I've heard great things about this man. I've heard he's going to destroy the field. So we'll see if he can live up to that particular reputation. Quincy a little loose on the exit there. We're going to switch to the Mercedes. No, that's not a Mercedes. Out, there's a Sauber of Tahaseen into the wall further back as Cialda begins a lap, as does Mar10 just behind him. I think Quincy, he's invalidated though. What about Carlitos? He's still in sector 2. GP7 coming to the line now, 2 tenths up in the middle sector. Here he goes through the final corner and up until the line for GP7. It's P3, improves by 1.5 tenths, but Mar10 and Cialda in a bit of a league of their own at the moment. We've got the defending champ Johnny Stokes across the line to start his next run, and then the 2 McLarens as well. What about Tahaseen? Oh, well, he was in the wall earlier on. Somehow he hasn't taken damage. Or... oh, no, he has. He's got no front right end plate. Why are you going again? You've only got 8.5 minutes to go. Carlitos goes to P3, as we might expect. That's a great lap from him. And the Spanish driver. Just 2 tenths off of that pole position. Of course, he lost out on his first ever ESRL win in Austria. At the final corner, he got overtaken by Mar10 in a very dramatic finish as Cialda improves, but not enough. Only improves by a few hundredths. Can Mar10 improve? No, he can't. So he stays P1, but I think he's going again. So keep an eye on that pole sitter and the championship leader at the moment. Clemo starts his first lap. A driver from Germany. It looks like Speed has managed to find his way into a car this time, so that is good news. As Aces comes across to start his run. And Johnny Stokes into the pits. No improvement for him. Scott just starting one. What about the McLaren of Marcus? Look at this. This is going to be good from the man in cockpit cam. Goes second place. Just 7,000ths of a second behind his old arch rival of TF Mar10. Tahaseen improves, but with no front right end plate, he's not going to get anywhere, unfortunately. Mar10 coming through though, he's 2.5 tenths. Ah, Paul, not anymore, he isn't, and he's round. Somehow avoids the wall. Goodness me, that could have been a very early end to the championship leaders qualifying session, and that was a good save from the man from Germany to keep that out of the wall. Wow, that was very, very close indeed. He's back into the pits, but Robin Brain takes away his pole position by 28,000ths of a second. It is mighty close out there. Clemo goes to P10 as the other VCARB of Quincy just starting a lap at the moment. But Robin Brain onto pole position for now. Aces versus Kings around the final corner. What can the British driver do across the line? He hasn't used a lot of ERS. I think he's going again. Yes, he is. He abandoned that previous one. Trugs it into the pits, as will be Short Marcus. And here comes Scott, but no improvement for him. He's going again as well. A lot of drivers not finding any improvement on their first runs and then going round again. Although I have no idea what Tahaseen's doing, I'm not going to lie. Speed Alcoholic, though, through the last couple of corners from the South African. And into the final corner he goes. Using all of that ERS, deploys the DRS as well, and it's P8 for speed. That's quite a way off where I expected him to be, but still 5.5 minutes left to go in the session. It was only his first run. I'm sure he's got more time in it than that. A few drivers going on to their next runs right now, including Robin Brain, who's going on the same set of tyres again, not bothering to go into the pits. So I wonder if they're saving a set of softs for the race, perhaps, as the V-carb of Quincy improves to P12. And then the Haas of, who is it, Aces versus Kings, comes to the line. It is an improvement, but it's not enough to improve his position because there's a big gap between him and Trugster at the moment in this qualifying session. Two Aston Martins on outlaps, as is the Ferrari of Johnny Stokes. And behind them is Cialda, I believe. 4.5 minutes to go. Not a lot of time left in this session. Who's going to be next across the line? I'm not sure. It's certainly not going to be Vader Boy. He is round down there at, I believe that's turn 8, I think. Might be turn 9. But he's lost some front left end plate as well. That hasn't stopped Tahasin from still going round the track, but I think Vader Boy will peel into the pits and strap on another set of tyres and a new front wing. Who is next across? It's going to be not GP7. Who is that? It is the Alpine, I believe. Where is the Alpine? Womack's across the line. He does come across, but I think he's just starting another lap. Cialda just starting a lap as well. Both V-carbs into the pits by the look of it. The Mercedes of Vader Boy also in. And then we switch to the Haas of Aces versus Kings, I think. Yeah, he's into the pits. So he'll have one more run before the end. Johnny Stokes has invalidated, so no improvement from him as we come into the last few minutes of qualifying. What about Carlito? He's 2/10 up. This could be pole from the Spanish driver. Across the line he goes. It is pole, a 13.9. The first driver to venture into the 1 minute 13s. It is Carlitos. And, well, he's going to be looking to keep that hold of that pole position before the end here. Jack Alaco goes to P11. A decent improvement for him, but plenty of others coming across. Cialda coming soon. Martin just starting a lap as we get into the last stages. What about GP7, the newbie? He's not on a competitive run, so he's going to have to go again. Jonathan on an out lap. We'll switch to, not Scott, the Alpine of Womax. Is he improving? Yes, improves to P13. Good job from the Bulgarian. But what about Cialda? Can he take pole? No, it's an invalid lap on the last corner for the Italian, and he doesn't have a lot of time left. He's going to have to go around on the same tyres, so not a great qualifying, or not a great end to qualifying for Cialda here. Look how close it is, though. Those top 5 all separated by less than 3/10 as Trugster just lights up the rears on the exit of turn 1. Got the Mercedes of Clemo starting his final run. GP7, he is not improving. The newbie's lost a front left end plate as well, so that's going to be his qualifying over. He hasn't got enough time to go again. Martin coming through, but he's going to have to try again as well. What about his teammate Speed coming across the line now? But he's on an out lap, so this is his final run for the South African. Down in 8th place at the moment. He'll want to do better than that before the end. Scott comes across to start a lap. What about Tahasin? Improves, but still has no front right end plate. Jacko retires in the pit lane. As does Carlito from pole position. So can anyone beat him? The gauntlet is set down. A 13.963 is the time to beat for this man, the championship leader, and also Cialda, who's actually come into the pits, so he will not be taking pole today. Marcus has got a chance as well. 1.5 minutes to go. It's going to be very, very close. Speed has had to back out of his run, so he's going to have to try again before the end. It's going to be tight, but he should make it for one more run. Trugster, again, he has to go again. So many drivers making mistakes on their laps. Clemo goes to P9, though, in the Mercedes. Good improvement for the German. Aces, I think, improved as well to P11, or is he just starting one? I think he's just starting one. His final run, 50 seconds to go in this qualifying session, this thrilling qualifying session for ESRL Hungary. Who's coming across the line now? I believe it's Speed coming through, but no improvement. Here we go. His final run. 30 seconds to go for all the drivers out there. Scott goes to P12. Marcus on an outlap. He starts his last run as well. We've got the V-carb of Quincy also starting his last run. So here we go. Jonathan's going to be first across the line, but an invalidation for him. So we switch to the Mercedes of Vader Boy, who's going to be next to go. The man from India, I believe, in the Mercedes. Through the final corner comes the recent addition to ESRL and to APPF1 Elite. Hopefully he stays with us for the next season. Through he goes, P16. He beats out Jonathan in the Ferrari. So good final run there from Vader Boy. Trugster to the line. Is it an improvement? No. Well, yes, but not in position. He's invalid. Who's next? Speed has left the session. Oh no! Disaster for him. The championship leader can't improve. Martin is P3 at best. Someone's in behind him as well. I'm not sure who that was. Clemo into the pits. It's all about RLS Marcus. He is 800ths up, but it's not enough to take pole. It could be enough to be on the front row though. He's in cockpit cam for this qualifying session. This would be quite remarkable if he can take a front row start here. RLS Marcus round the final corner and up to the line, uses everything he's got left. It is the front row for Marcus. Great final run from him, and Quincy is into the pits, so no improvement there. And it's Carlitos who takes pole position here at the Hungaroring. Great lap from the Spaniard, and Marcus lining up alongside on the front row with Robin Brain and Martin down on row 2. So it is Carlitos in the Aston Martin who takes pole position. Ignore the flags of the top two there from Spain and Great Britain respectively, I promise you. Marcus in P2, Robin Brain and Martin on the second row, with Cialda and GP7 the newbie in P6. Not living up to the stories that Scott told me. Johnny Stokes and Speed on row 4, then Clemmer and Trugster the 5th row, Aces, Scott, Jacko, Wumax, Quincy, Vader Boy, Jonathan and Tahasin, who went through that whole qualifying session on the same set of tyres with a broken front wing for some goodness knows reason. He lines up at the back of the grid. Well, if there's one thing you're good at, Speed, it's recovery drives, so don't sweat it, you'll be fine. Here we go for the formation lap. Let's have a quick look at tyres, shall we? Mediums for almost the whole grid except Marcus and Clemo, who both start on the hards today. Interesting call from them. We'll see if it pays off. But everyone else on those mediums, I do wonder if there's going to be a medium soft coming in perhaps. Are the soft tyres going to be used today, because there are a lot of drivers going through a lot of laps on the same set of softs. So I do wonder if they saved a set for the race, but we'll see. That's Carlitos who gets us underway. Let's have a quick look at helmets of people I haven't reviewed yet. I don't think I reviewed Carlitos. It's just plain black with a white stripe. It's not terrible. I'll give it a 6, maybe a 5.5. Robin Brain. It's nice to have the white, but like the yellow is far too bright. You can barely see the white stripe. You probably can't even see it on the stream. A 4. Martin's got the Verstappen helmet. Cialda default. GP7 default. Speed I reviewed before, I think. Clemo, that is Guan Yu Zhou's helmet, I believe. Speed's helmet, just in case I haven't reviewed it before, is quite nice. Not too bad. I'll give that a 6.5. Trugster, now that is a helmet. Love that. The white and the gold on the other side. Very nice from Trugster. And the red stripe. Great color choices. That is a 9 out of 10 helmet from Trugster. Aces versus Kings default. Quincy, that's not too bad either. Give that a 7. 7.5. Vader Boy Verstappen, default. So, helmet of the day goes to Trugster. So no matter how this race goes, he can at least say that for himself. But here we go. We're about to get started. Unless Speed has just broken the lobby by joining during the formation lap, which is very plausible, actually. This might be a reset. I think this is a reset. Yeah, this is usually what happens when someone joins during the formation lap. Just breaks the lobby. Keep my eye on it just in case, but I think this is a lobby reset, everyone. I think you might have done, Speed. I think you might well have done. I think you've broken the lobby. Yeah. Lobby reset. Well, we're getting started now. Yeah, new lobby, everyone. Well, everyone's racing, but it's a new lobby, guys. Way, there we go. Yeah, new lobby. We'll be back in due time, everyone. Aren't EA just the best, Marcus? Aren't they just the best? We all love EA. Yeah, this is why APP has a rule against people joining during the formation lap, because it's about 3 in 4 that it breaks the lobby. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes you get lucky, but usually it breaks the lobby. But yes, that is EA to thank. I will say a lot of people don't like this game, but it's definitely less buggy than F123. I feel like F123 is the buggiest F1 game in history. It's close, yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of buggy F1 games, but F123 was a different level, man. It's crazy. Unfortunately, this one has carried over quite a few of the bugs from it, but yeah. Can you send Scott quality results? I absolutely can, no problem. 1 second. Marcus thinks this game is the best game since 2020. Yeah, I mean, you're usually contrarian, Marcus, so that doesn't surprise me too much. There we go. Alright, I will send Scott the results. Buggy, but not as bad, but the handling is really fun and dynamic, it's consistent. The DRS dirty air balance is a joke. I don't know. I think, you know, just watching Cialda doing his lap was like, I think that's the fast way to drive these cars. You have to just absolutely throw the wheel on turn-in and then bring it back as you go through the corner, which shouldn't be how a car works. But you know, it's not bad. It's not horrible to drive or anything. People who say it's disgusting to drive are overreacting, as usual, as they usually do. But it's definitely, the handling is definitely not as good as last year's. That I will definitely say. But it's alright. Still fun. Just because it's not realistic doesn't mean it doesn't have to be fun, you know? And who knows, maybe the absolutely, completely tanked sales of this game might make EA think maybe we can do a little better next time. But it's EA, so probably not. I think they would sooner cancel a game series than actually put effort into making it better to increase sales. I know that we had the big boom at 2020, and then it's steadily been going down since then. It's not necessarily because the games have gotten worse, like dickheads like Alex Gillen try to say all the time. Like, why are the F1 games getting worse? Oh, the player base has decreased. Yeah, because we had a boom in COVID, you idiot. And it's declining now. We had the combination of COVID and Drive to Survive, and we had a massive boom in sales Just look at the sales between like 2018 and F1 2020. It's ridiculous, the huge bump. Like 2018 sales were similar to this year's sales, maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit better, but not that much better. And we're still only halfway through this game cycle. There's plenty of time left. So, you know, I think we're just regressing back to the mean after the boom in COVID, and people have this expectation that 2020 is how it's supposed to be. But no, that was the golden era for a reason. So yeah. Bit of a rant there. But we are waiting for the lobby to get back underway, so I don't think it's too bad to have a little rant about F1 games and people who complain too much. I am a little concerned about all those connection bars on the right. I'm not going to lie, guys. I hope that's not a me problem. It might actually be a me problem. We did get a new router this week. I really hope that is not a me problem. That is slightly concerning. Most of my connections are green. That's not ideal. My connection's been fine all day, so it'd be typical if it dies now, wouldn't it? That's fine. It's not a big issue anyway. If I'm lagging a bit, I'm only the spectator. It'd be worse if I was on track. We rant about how terrible the game is, yet we still buy it and play it every year. Well, it's because we all get worth out of it, you know? Like, I can understand people who just play career mode stopping buying it. Because, like, even before I started league racing, I only used to buy it every 2 years. I used to alternate between this and FIFA every year. But as soon as I started league racing, you've got to buy every game because all the leagues move on to the next game. And you get your worth out of it by league racing. Like, people complain that it's 70 quid or 60 quid or whatever. 50 quid if you're smart about where you get it from. But at the end of the day, we're racing all year. Like, we get a whole year's worth of hours out of it. Most of us have hundreds of hours in the game by the end of the year. So, in my mind, what's the issue, you know? Anyway, I know, and I'm not saying, you know, people, you know, it can be hard for some people. Like, some people are going to have less money to spend than others, and so it's understandable that they'd be hacked off about the rising prices. But at the end of the day, this is just what AAA games cost these days. Sucks to have to pay it every year, but we're getting our worth out of it. So that's my view. That's how I see it. But here we are, everyone getting their setups ready. I do wish they'd switch to a new graphics engine or a new game engine, because that is about 3 years overdue now. Maybe even 4 or 5. Here we go. 3, 4, 5. Red lights. And we're underway for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's a jump start for Aces. Oh, disaster for him. But Carlitos get us a good start from the front as they hurtle down towards turn one. Cialda on the outside of turn one. Martin is blocked out a bit. But Cialda has to go deep as Marcus forces him wide. Cialda has the inside line for turn two, though. It's Carlitos who leads from pole, but it's contact between Marcus and Cialda. Cialda barging his way through at turn two, and he's up to second place. Martin and Marcus are together again on track, and they're going wheel to wheel once again in turn four. And oh goodness me, Martin just about backs out in time, but these two, no love lost, that is for sure, between these guys. A few other people starting on hards this time as Robin Brain tries to send it down the inside of the championship leader. He can't quite manage it this time, and in fact loses 2 positions on the exit. An uninspired decision there from the VCARB driver as GP7 up to P5. Martin still sitting good in P4, but we've got Aces and Scott both starting on the hards, along with Marcus and Clemo this time, who retained their choice after the lobby reset, but everyone else sticking with the mediums. As we look at position changes, Cialda up 3. What a start for him as he chases after Carlito. Speed up 2, Jonathan and Quincy both up 4, Scott and Aces and Robin Brain both down, or all down 4, 3 and 4 spots respectively, and Aces has that drive through of course to deal with, so a terrible start for Aces. But everyone else, or most others, getting off the line relatively neatly. Carlito being chased by the Italian of Cialda. Marcus holding Martin behind him, and well, he's going to struggle on those hard tyres to stay with the 2 in front. The best he can do is keep Martin and everyone behind him, because it's already over a second to Cialda now, and Cialda's nearly over a second to Carlito, and that's a big mistake from the Italian just up ahead. Little bit of a lock-up, and that's going to cost him quite a lot of time. And there we go, 1 second range, and Carlito is running away with this race already at lap 2. Here they come through the last couple corners, and no DRS until the next lap. It will be enabled. Actually, no, it is going to be enabled, of course, isn't it? Because it gets done on lap 2 now, but Cialda just about gets it. Crucial for the Italian. He's going to gain some crucial tenths back there, and Martin gets his way past his old arch rival, and Marcus has to stick in behind. It's going to be a double DRS zone, and Mar stays ahead. Is Marcus going to come under pressure from GP7? Not quite this time as they head to turn 2, but Cialda regaining some of that time back, and that is absolutely critical, because otherwise Carlito was threatening to run away with this one. He still could. Little mistake from Cialda, could see Carlito going straight back in front, and that's a big mistake already. 2 tenths lost through turn 5 for Cialda. And it's back up to 8 tenths, but as long as he gets the DRS every lap, he's going to be fine. But it's looking like Carlito is the class of the field today as he searches for his first ever ESRL victory. He has never won a race in this league before in Division 1. And he got oh so close a few weeks ago when he got overtaken at the last corner in Austria of the final lap by our current championship leader Martin, but this time he's really got a good chance at it. But Cialda back in range again. A bit of a mistake from Carlito in the penultimate corner, I think, and the Italian has the DRS and is going to be right behind as GP7 is the next to clear the hard tyre McLaren of Marcus, up to P4 for the newbie, as he now chases after the championship leader who didn't get DRS from Cialda this time. Aces retires in the pit lane, he can't be asked after his drive through, as Trugster loses position, and loses a front right end plate as well. Must have binned it on the turn 1 exit, and well, he may have won best helmet today. No contest really in that particular competition, but he's certainly not going to win this race, I don't think. Johnny Stokes just behind Robin Brain. This train of 6 cars right now, as Clemo tries to catch up as well, for P3 is going strong. Tahassin a long way at the back now, but down they go into the last few corners of lap 4. Cialda still in DRS range of Carlito, crucially. And yeah, look at that wheel movement through the corners. That's what I was talking about earlier. Just chucks the wheel through, and it is fast, but it doesn't do your tires any good. That's what I will say. Bit wide at the final corner, will cost some time for Cialda, and could perhaps cost him a track limits warning as well. As they head into turn 1, Carlito stays ahead, but Cialda getting closer and closer, and so is Martin. Always around the front of the field this season is the German, and well, his commanding championship lead is proof of that. But Johnny Stokes, his nearest challenger, down in P8. No Zoxyrus today, which is a big shame. So that is probably him out of the championship fight as a result of not making it today. So that is a huge shame. But his teammate Johnny Stokes is going to be hoping to fly the flag for Ferrari today as they try and compound their Constructors' Championship lead. But at the moment, Red Bull are going to gain a ton of points on them, with Martin in 3rd and Speed up in 6th. So big day for Red Bull, perhaps this could be, but look at the gap here between 1 and 2. Cialda's lost some time again, and well, he's not going to do his tyres any good with those wheel movements through those corners, but he is still just about in DRS range, I believe. Does that rear wing open? Yes, it does, but he's brought Martin into range as well, and now Carlito could be under more pressure as a result. They come through turn 1, and Cialda is back right behind, but Carlito definitely the faster of these two drivers at this stage. Look at that wheel, he just chucks it through the corner. It's crazy. Johnny Stokes battling with Robin Brain in the meantime as they head through turn 2. Robin keeps the position, but only just, and the defending champ is going to have to fight another day, and there's a 3-second time penalty. So Cialda, he may have been keeping up with Carlito, but at what cost? And now we know it is track limits penalties that were the cost. Does Martin do the same thing as Cialda does? I'm interested. They come through the corners. So let's watch Cialda as he comes through, not this corner, but the next one. Lifts off a bit there. Down they come to the next corner. He's going to chuck his wheel. There we go. Does Martin do the same? No, he's a lot smoother. So you don't have to do that. What about Carlito? Does he do that? We'll watch him into turn 1 as, well, actually we'll watch GP7 because he is right behind the championship leader here. Through the final corner they go. DRS is going to be open, but it's not going to be open for Martin. I'm going to watch Carlito briefly through turn 1, I think, but no, I'm going to have to cut back to GP7 because he goes down the inside into turn 1. Johnny Stokes and Robin Brain fighting further back as well. GP forces Martin off the circuit, and Martin loses 2 positions as a result. He is not going to be a happy bunny with that. But he's still in this, gets a bit of the curb as well and loses the rear, and Martin is a bit flustered here on lap 7 of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and the championship leader just needs to get his head back in the game a little bit. Might have been forced off the circuit, might have been a little annoyed about that one, but he's just got to get the right mindset, and he has done this season. He has been fantastic in terms of mentality this season, all season long. That is why he has such a big championship lead. It's not just that he's fast, and he is, it's that he's kept his head so much better than he ever used to. And, well, he's just going to run fairly comfortably now in P5, I think, and be pretty happy with where he is. With Speed Alcoholic, his teammate, just behind as well. We'll be hoping maybe for a little bit of a battle to erupt in front, as Marcus is now going to put the Aston Martin of GP7 under pressure down to turn 1. Down the inside he goes, and that's an easy move for the McLaren driver up to 3rd place, but a little deep into turn 1. But no DRS for the Aston Martin is going to make that position secure. Let's just see, because does Carlito throw the wheel into here like Cialda does? Okay, it'll be maybe the chicane is the best place to see it, because I know Cialda throws his wheel through there. Into the chicane, does Carlito do the same? No, he's much smoother, much more like how Martin and most others drive. So I think Cialda's an anomaly here in the way he's driving, with the just almost throwing his wheel out the cockpit as he approaches the apex of the corner. And Carlito, very smooth steering, but look at that from Cialda. Yeah, crazy. That is not going to... can't be good for the tyres, surely, to do that at every corner. But, well, he's doing all right so far. As they head through the final corner now, Marcus, can he stay in DRS range? Does he have it? Does the rear wing open? No, it doesn't. So no DRS yet for Marcus, but those hard tyres working really well for him now, and he's going to start getting a bit of an advantage over those medium runners. Maybe, if not already, in a few laps' time. We're already on lap 9 of 35 in this race. So a long way to go, but Marcus is in a great spot here. Jackalacco and Quincy going wheel to wheel at turn 1. Good battle between these two. They're a long way down from the field, but this is the battle for 10th place, which is the last point available. And they're going to go wheel to wheel again on the exit of turn 2, but Jacko stays ahead for now. Quincy looking to the outside of turn 4, but backs out of that one a long way before the corner, thankfully. As Robin Brain off the circuit as we switch to him in Sector 2, and now he's 3 seconds back from the 2 cars ahead of Johnny Stokes and Clemo, who have lost a huge amount of time to the top 6. And a time penalty for Robin Brain as well for track limits. This has not gone well for him this lap, and well, he's got a lot of work to do now. Jonathan down to 14th place as he bins it after getting a track limits penalty in a similar place to Robin Brain, but he's getting back underway, but not a happy bunny and that Ferrari. And well, Clemo getting past Johnny, but yeah, Jonathan, when he was told to turn his line off in APP Tier 2, it went about as well as today has gone, as Robin Brain get some new tyres on. Hard tyres to the end for the V-carb driver after his spin. And out he goes. And, well, he'll be hoping to get a very nice undercut here as he heads into turn 1. And, well, we'll have to see what happens when the rest of the drivers come in, whether there will be any advantage gained for Robin Brain. He was about 3.5 behind Johnny Stokes, I think, when he came in. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for now, it's still Carlitos who leads from Cialda. But look at RLS Marcus right behind now on those hard tyres. He bided his time, as did the drivers behind him. And now they're back with the top 2. And Carlito, well, he may have a driver with a penalty just behind him, but the drivers behind Cialda are not going to be so easily moved. So this is still far from a guaranteed victory for Carlito. He's going to have to fight for this if he wants his first ever ESRL win. Marcus has a brief look to the inside of the Sauber driver, but doesn't get it sent into turn 1. Turn 2 decides against it as well, and Cialda goes deep. But I do think Cialda is struggling more on his tyres than everyone else because of that way he drives, with the throwing of the wheel into corners. I mean, it's not visible into here, but into the chicane you'll see it. Oh, and even into turn 5, look. Just chucks the wheel like he's throwing it to the right-hand side of the cockpit. And again, yeah, it's crazy. That can't be good on the tyres. It surely can't. There's Tahar seen round in the background and turn in Sector 3. Carlito 7.5 tenths ahead again, and well, he'll be hoping to get rid of this Sauber, but Cialda just will not be moved at the moment, even if its tyres are worse. The oversteer on the exit there, not great for him as they come to the penultimate corner. Is he going to be in DRS range? Just about. Once again, Cialda, 9 tenths was the gap as they went into the detection point. And he's going to have the DRS, but here comes Marcus. He's using that overtake button to send it down the inside. And now Marcus is a legitimate threat to Carlito here. The Aston Martin driver on aging medium tyres. Marcus a bit of a snap on the hards there, but he should be able to survive that. 8 tenths is the gap. Let's see if Carlito can drop the British driver, the 2-time ESRL sprint champion, as they head into Sector 2. As Quincy getting past Jacko again, these two battling for that 10th place. Scott's there as well, and it's now for, well, it's for P9, but Robin Brain is pitted, remember, so it is really for P10, these three that are scrapping. So high stakes here for these three drivers as Womax retires in the pit lane. Carlito still leading, but Marcus has managed to retain that gap and even reduce it on this lap. 0.6 of a second. He will have the DRS, and Carlito in big danger of losing this race lead on the very halfway. Well, I say that we're about a third of the way through this race now, but Marcus through the final corner, he's going to have the DRS. Is he going to make the move into turn one? Here we go. On the straight. Here we go. Is he going to use the ERS? Yes, he does. Overtake button used from the two-time sprint champion. And he flies down the inside. And for the first time in this Grand Prix, we have a new race leader. It is RLS Marcus as GP7 makes it past Cialda as well. I definitely think he is struggling more on his tyres than everyone else because of that way he drives. I'm almost certain of it, but maybe not. I could be completely wrong and he's just losing time organically. But anyway, these three battling once again, and Robin Brain is up with them. Robin Brain, oh, down the inside, but there's a bit of contact. Quincy loses the rear on the exit of turn two, and Robin was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that is a lot of time lost, and he is going to be a very frustrated driver in that cockpit. He went for the undercut, but he's been held up now by these three, even with a little bit of contact. And look at this, Johnny Stokes though has lost so much time. Even despite that, it's a 5-second undercut from Robin Brain. That is what those 3 laps gained him, so absolutely huge from the V-carb, and even with that contact it could have been a 6 or 7 second undercut. And here we go again, a lot of the top 3 into the pits, or the top 4, that is Carlito, GP7 and Cialda all in, but here comes Robin Brain down the inside of Scott into the final sector. Next is his teammate, and then it's Jack Alaco as they go through the last couple corners. Look at the much better exit he gets, but he's losing so much time. Johnny Stokes is already right on the back of him, and here they go down into turn one. Where is Robin Brain going to go? He's going to go to the inside of his teammate, but Quincy's not going to let this go. He's using his ERS as well, and look at that, the difference in ERS, but he sends it to the inside, does Robin Brain, into turn one, and he gets the move done. It's a great overtake from Robin Brain, using those better tyres to full effect. But look at this, look at how much that undercut has gained. GP7 has come out behind both of them, Johnny Stokes and Robin Brain, as Robin up to P7, and a huge amount of jostling here as the drivers who've pitted try to get ahead of the drivers who haven't in this little group here. And well, Quincy, Scott and Jacko thought they were going to be alone, but not anymore. Johnny Stokes down the inside of the V-carb into the chicane, and now he's up to 9th, but you can see Robin Brain just ahead. He needs to stay within DRS range. Hello to Palang in the chat. Martin's in the pits. He's going to get a very, very big surprise when he comes in and sees he's behind this pack, because I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Tahasin gets himself another time penalty at the back. GP7 down the inside of Scott, and these drivers really throwing their cars into these overtakes down the inside again at the next corner, and they are barging their way through here. Who's that into the pits? It's Jack Alaco already in, but here comes Martin out the pits. Where's he going to be? Robin Brain coming down towards turn one, and Mar is ahead. He has managed to stay ahead, so there must have been a mistake from GP7 at some point to end up this far back. I'm sure of it, but yeah, he's got a lot of work to do now, just behind Johnny Stokes. Trugster Jack Alaco coming out the pits now in pretty clean air. He'll be just behind Vader Boy, but should be able to dispatch of him relatively quickly. It's not a group like the others came across. So it's now Marcus who leads on those hard tyres, but that undercut is going to really hurt the McLaren driver. He's going to have to go onto those mediums a lot of laps in advance. He's going to have to do another 5 or 6 laps, I would have thought, before even thinking about putting on those mediums, and he's going to lose a lot of time to the undercut as a result. Speed into the pits 4 set of the hard tyres. Where's he going to exit? That's the question. Here comes Ma round the last couple corners, and speed, I think, is going to be a long way down on his teammate. Martin through the final corner for the German, and yes, Speed Alcoholic only just coming out the pits now. Where is Ma? He's coming through. Look on the right hand side of your screen, now the left. Speed out the pits, well behind his teammate. He could be behind Robin Brain here. Robin sweeps around the outside, but Speed keeps the position. Very nicely done from the South African. Calm driving to keep that position, and he stays in P6. Just 3 seconds now behind his teammate. That is how much the undercut gained. Just a 1 lap undercut, and Speed has lost 2.5 seconds to his teammate. That is absolutely unbelievable. I think Marcus and Clemmer are going to get a rude awakening here, but if they can utilize those mediums to full effect, they could still be in with a shout of this. But I do think the favorite now to win this race, now he's come out the pits in a net P1, is this man Carlito. Cialda and Carlito, a huge undercut on Martin. He is 3 seconds behind them, and he was right behind before they came in. Cialda's lost the DRS as well, so Carlito in a league of his own at the moment. 11 seconds to the top 2, but the real gap that matters is the one to Cialda and to Martin, and he is a long way clear as he searches for his first ever ESRL Div 1 win. And at the moment, he is going very well to achieve exactly that. GP7 around the outside of Robin Brain, who I think probably starting to struggle a little bit on those older hard tyres. A bit of contact, a bit of jostling, and Robin Brain loses both positions. Johnny Stokes finds his way past as well, up to P8 for the defending champ. And GP7 is his next target. Speed Alcoholic only 1 second up the road after those undercuts. The undercut just massive on this circuit. It really, really is. Yes, exactly, Palang. Marcus has to do a lot of work here because he started on those hards. Have to go onto the mediums and really push hard. And Cialda, once again, the connection issues strike again for the Italian in the Sauber. He is disconnected from the session. I do hope he can find his way back in. Marcus exits the pits on the medium tyres. Here we go. Where is he going to be in relation to the others? Carlito flies past. Where's Martin and Speed? They're coming down the straight now. Here comes Marcus out the pits. He's going to be ahead of Martin. Unbelievably, Martin to the inside. And these two, no love lost. Martin somehow gets it stopped despite being all 4 wheels on the grass. They go into turn 2, and clearly Martin, he's had so much of a mentality improvement this season compared to previous seasons, but when he sees Marcus in front of him, his brain switches off. It's the same for Marcus. As soon as he sees Ma, they both just completely switch off their brains. It's full monkey brain for both of them. Somehow they've gotten away with that. I do not know how on earth that was not a Verstappen-Hamilton situation from this year. That is unbelievable. They've both gotten through that in one piece. But it's brought Speed back into the race. Martin now has a penalty as well to add to all of that. Speed Alcoholic right there. GP7 could be brought back into this as well. Marcus still just about ahead, and he's on those medium tyres too, but they still need a little bit of time to warm up. I think they're just about there now. They should be, but here they go down to turn 1. Marcus using that ERS, but Martin's going to have the DRS on the back of his car. Here they go into turn 1. These two old rivals once again. Marcus squeezed into the inside, and there's contact, and Martin is not going to be pleased about that. Marcus gave him the squeeze as they headed towards the braking zone. Martin tries to sweep around the outside but can't quite do it. Speed is just going to have his head in his hands here, hoping to God that they both don't take him out as well when they do eventually take each other out, as it's looking like they're going to eventually. Through turn 4 they go. Marcus still ahead for now, but for how long are those medium tyres going to work for him? They still haven't worked at all for him. It's still not fast enough to get rid of this annoying German behind him that he's battled with and seen time and time and time again. He just cannot get rid of him. These two just can't stay away from each other whenever they're on the same grid, and Marcus again stays ahead, but Martin is going to be hungry for that position now. I think all mentality improvements are gone now. Now it's Marcus ahead of him. Cialda's still disconnected, by the way, so they're going to catch up to him as well, but it's not close enough for Marcus to get the DRS. Yeah, here comes Martin. Down towards turn one they go, but he's out of ERS. And, well, he sends it. No, he doesn't. He flicks it back to the outside. Can he get the switch back on the exit for turn two? He's going to use the ERS again. Here they go, down towards turn two. Marcus covers the inside. That's really good car positioning from Marcus, I have to say. But Martin is going to be absolutely apoplectic in that cockpit that he's still stuck behind this McLaren. He looks to the inside of turn four just to throw Marcus off, but doesn't send it. Speed is just hoping to God they don't take him out as well. GP7 isn't going to know any of this history. He doesn't know about any of this. He's the new kid on the block today. He's just going to be thinking, all right, well, I'm in this train, I'm doing well, just got to keep my eye in. Speed is thinking, please don't take me out, guys. God, please, please. It's these two again. Here they go into the final sector again, but Martin practically pushing Marcus through. Speed just has to watch and wait and see. GP7 goes to the inside, but I think attempted to send it there, but he just wasn't close enough. And Cialda's AI is now going to give Marcus the DRS to stay ahead of Martin, which will probably make him even more angry in that cockpit. They're going to go down towards turn one. Martin has the better speed, but he can't make the move, and they get past the AI car, but Marcus up to P3 now, and now this is a battle for the podium, but Mar does have that penalty to his name. I do wonder if one of the warnings were for when he was battling with Marcus and whether he'll try and get one removed, but Johnny Stokes 2.5 seconds back from the pack at the moment, so Mar doesn't have to worry about his nearest championship rival at least. As long as he stays in this pack, he should still be able to extend his championship lead with just 3 rounds to go after this one. Not long left in this thrilling season so far. Clamo leads still on those hard tyres, but he's been quickly caught by Carlito, who's now 5 seconds ahead of Marcus, just behind, thanks to the disconnect from Cialda. GP7 making his way past as well. But Carlito definitely by far the favourite for this race win, and by God he would deserve it. It's been a long, long time coming for the Spaniard to win a race in ESRL, and this could be his day. But Clemo's still staying out meanwhile. He's still got that penalty to his name. I do wonder if he's going for the softs here. He's staying out a very, very long time. It's not going to be worth it. He's going to lose far too much time staying out that long, but that is the strat for the Mercedes driver today. That's what he's going to go for. Through sector one they go, and still it is Marcus ahead of TF Martin, and GP7 the next to get a track limits penalty, and that is big news for him, as he is now going to have a lot more work to do, is the newbie, to get himself on the podium. Robin Brain getting past Scott, who just comes out the pit lane on fresh medium tyres. He is still not out the fight for this points finish. It's currently Jack Alaco who's holding it, but he's got a penalty to his name, and Scott is, well, 9 seconds behind, or 10 seconds behind, but those mediums are going to be a lot better. So still chance. Finally pits from the lead of the race. Does he give Carlito DRS? No, he pits before that. But in he comes, and it's going to be a set of the mediums. Why did he stay out so long? That is crazy that he stayed out as long as he did. But anyway, He is back down now as the two Red Bulls go wheel to wheel at turn 1. Marcus now gaining some time on Martin because the German is out of ERS to use, and Speed has got plenty left. Marcus, to be fair, doesn't have much left either, but I think those mediums are finally starting to come into play for him. But he is going to struggle towards the end of this race. Trugster into the pits now for his 2-stop because he had to stop early in this race. So that promotes Jacko into 9th place. And, well, Scott only has to get past Robin Brain now, who also has a penalty. And he will be in the points in this Grand Prix. Clemo exits 9 seconds behind Johnny Stokes. I think that is a step too far, perhaps, but we'll see. I don't know. Those hards are pretty worn, and Clemo's still got a chance here, but that penalty is definitely going to cost him. Towards the end, I think. But I think the last few laps he could well catch up to this pack ahead and get himself up maybe 1 or 2 positions. Who's gone round? That is Robin Brain, who's gone round at turn 3, and he's down to P11 now, and that promotes Scott into the points-paying positions. Meanwhile, Martin right on the back of Marcus once again, and you're right, Palang, Marcus and by extension all the 3 cars behind him are slowly, seemingly gaining on the race leader Carlito. I was saying it's his race to lose, it still is, but it's not looking as certain anymore. 3.5 seconds, just watch that gap this lap, 3.6 it is. Let's have a look at it. But meanwhile, Marcus just keeping these 3 behind at the moment. Still, GP7, Speed, Alcoholic, and Martin. Speed and Marcus, the only ones without a penalty for track limits. But Martin, perhaps a contestable penalty, but I'll act as if he's definitely got it for now, because that's a lot easier. Pushing his old rival through once again. They come into the last couple corners. It is still 3.6 seconds between Carlito and Marcus, so the gap hasn't come down this lap, but there's still 11 laps left to go, and those hards are going to get worse and worse for the race leader. Here comes Martin to the inside. Marcus squeezes him there. Marcus gets on the brakes much better than the German, and Martin has to back out in the end. And Speed Alcoholic now on the offensive on his teammate into turn 2, but doesn't send it. The Constructors is still very much at stake here for the Red Bulls. It's a huge opportunity to gain points on Ferrari, but if one of them drops out, then they're not going to gain as many points as they otherwise would. Speed nearly into the back of his teammate there into turn 4, and GP into the back of Speed nearly as well, as Robin Brain loses it once again, unfortunately, at turn 10, and that is, I believe, his chance at points over, unless we get a safety car in this one. It's not been a good day for the V-Carb driver. And look at this once again, Martin just throwing his car around, pushing this McLaren through. They've both saved up a bit more ERS. Mistake from Marcus again into this corner, and this is surely going to be the opportunity that Martin needed. Robin Brain retires in the pits, unsurprisingly, but that gap has now extended again to Carlito, 4.1 seconds, and the race leader will be feeling a little more safe, but he's still got older tyres than everyone behind him, apart from GP7. Down the inside, but Speed! Oh no! Oh no! Speed! He looked to the inside, and then Martin just twitched his car and sent his teammate into the wall. It's a Red Bull disaster, but here they go again. Turn 2, Martin and Marcus side by side, and Marcus stays ahead again. Speed Alcoholic. Oh, he's been taken out by his teammate, and not for the first time in ESRL either that's happened. He's got a long history of being taken out by his teammates. Him and Marcus came to blows at Abu Dhabi last season, if you remember that. Or was it 2 seasons ago now? It was not too long ago, but I think it was last season, the start of last season. But anyway, through they go, through the final sector they come of lap 26 of 35. Carlito now 4.6 ahead, and he is looking like he's going to run away with this race win, but Speed Alcoholic is going to be
just confused, I think. I don't think he's going to be angry. He's just going to be confused. What on earth happened? Why did Martin twitch his car to the right there? I do not know. But Speed into the pits for some soft tyres to the end and a new front wing. And well, Martin to the inside. I'll talk about the championship later. He goes for it this time, and this could be the move finally for the German, the championship leader, on his arch rival. They're again going to go side by side into turn 2, and Marcus once again keeps that position. Martin just cannot seem to clear this McLaren, and GP7 just watching and waiting. You might get an idea of these two's history just watching them go for it, but he's not going to know anything about it just by default like Speed did. Speed, by the way, coming out in P8 down there on the fresh set of medium tyres, but he will go for fastest lap at least. But yeah, this could have been a really, really good day for Red Bull, and as it stands, they may not gain many points at all on the Ferraris after all. So the constructors are still going to stay close, but I was just talking about how, as long as the two Red Bulls stay where they are, or roughly where they are, the constructors is going to be fair game for them. They're going to take the Constructors' Championship lead, and by a long way, and then almost immediately they take each other out. But here comes Martin. This time it's an easy move to the inside. He was close enough. He used the ERS. Marcus gets squirrely on the exit of turn 1, and that is finally job done for the championship leader. But now he has to extend 3 seconds to Marcus because excuse me, because of that penalty that he's got for track limits. 0.6 of a second is the gap, but he needs to get out of DRS range first. That's going to be the key. But if GP7 gets past Marcus, then he could cause the championship leader some problems. Speed in again for a set of softs. I bet they didn't repair his wing. I bet that's what happened. He's going to come out in P10, and well, this is just going from bad to worse for Red Bull. He will surely get fastest lap, but he's going to be a frustrated man in that cockpit. Johnny Stokes, some 5 seconds behind these top 4. So not really in range to benefit from the track limits penalties. And now, look who is right behind him. That gap was nearly 10 seconds not that long ago, if not more. And Clemo is already within 2 seconds of the reigning champion. He does have that penalty, but as it goes, Marcus down the inside of Martin unexpectedly into turn 1. They go wheel to wheel again. Marcus on the outside this time. Can he hold it there? Martin gets a little squirrely, and Marcus have the inside for turn 3. They're still side by side down towards turn 4. Martin onto the grass as he tries to stay with the McLaren, but he can't quite do it, and he's going to lose position to GP7 as well. The Aston Martin sweeps around the outside. The newbie has no idea of this rivalry, but he into the back of Marcus in the meantime. He skips the corner and he stays ahead of Martin, who's not going to be happy in that cockpit. He is going to be furious in that Red Bull. You just know it. GP7 doesn't have visible damage. He's gotten away with it, luckily for him. But this is far from over, this battle, as Martin now looks to the inside, and this is the old Martin just creeping in again. All it took was a little battle with Marcus, and suddenly Martin just loses all of the character growth he's had the last couple seasons. But he is still going to be the runaway championship leader. But look what this is doing. It's bringing Johnny Stokes back into the battle. 4.5 seconds is the gap, and it could bring Clemo into it as well. GP7 to the inside. It's an Aston Martin 1-2 on track, but Marcus is still there with no penalties to his name. Carlito is going to run away with this race now thanks to all this battling. So he's going to be very happy with how this has transpired. But Martin, Marcus and GP7 still battling on, and Johnny Stokes now within 4 seconds of the Red Bull, and he could overtake on penalties his Red Bull rival for the constructors here. What a result that would be for the reigning champ. after it looked like for a long time in this race that Ferrari were going to lose a lot of points to their rivals. It just took one crash between the Red Bulls and now some battling up ahead, and Johnny is right back in this and he's pushing. He knows he's back in this. He is pushing that car harder now to try and get within the 3-second range, and as it stands he's going to do exactly that. Look at this. Martin just stuck behind this McLaren. He's going to be sick of seeing that Dark Trace sponsor on the back of that rear wing. They both got DRS again, using the ERS as well. They're both only worried about each other. They're not really thinking about GP7, and there's more moving on the straight from Marcus. Martin forced out off the track again, and he is going to be so mad in that cockpit now. Only 5 laps to go, but it's still this rivalry rages on between these two, and GP7 is being allowed, thanks to all of this, to extend the gap. He could be out of DRS by the end of this one, especially with that mistake from Marcus. Another mistake into turn 5, and Martin has to stay behind once again. And look at this, 1.1 seconds to GP7. He has gotten out of DRS, and it could be an Aston Martin 1-2 here. Speed gets past Jacko further back, mistake from Martin. Johnny Stokes is being slowly brought back into this, and Clemo is as well. Look at this, he's just behind the Ferrari. His mediums are going to be starting to wear away now just a little bit, but so will the hards. They're going to be on relatively equal terms, and Clemo could well get himself a top 5 finish still in this race. Because he's got Johnny Stokes ahead, who doesn't have a penalty, but if he can clear him and then chase after Martin and Marcus, who are going wheel to wheel again, here they go, Martin to the inside, he takes that position. Marcus thinks about sending it into turn 1, but decides against it, and Martin up ahead, and Clemo gets ahead of the defending champ as well. Up to P5 he goes, and he chases after these two. What's happened to Martin? He's binned it! The championship leader, he has binned it out of turn 1! That time, I'm sure it wasn't Marcus that time. He was too far behind, and Martin down to P7. What looked like it was going to be a dream race for Red Bull has turned into a nightmare. 7th and 8th. Speed will have the fastest lap, but what an absolute disaster. And Johnny Stokes could well gain points for Ferrari on Red Bull here, despite not really having a teammate. Jonathan's well out the points. Goodness gracious me, what a result that would be for Johnny Stokes. We've got it's 25-18, 15-12, 10 points for Johnny, and then 8-6-4, 10 points for Red Bull. He won't lose any points. This is unbelievable. How on earth has this happened? Johnny Stokes, from absolutely nothing, is in the end, as it stands, not going to lose any points to Red Bull. And in fact, if he finishes ahead of Clemo here, which he is on track to do as long as he stays in DRS range, he could gain points on the Red Bulls. It would be a 2-point gain, believe it or not. This is absolute insanity, this race. Martin, once again, faced with this AI car of Cialdo, who's been AI for quite a long time, by the way. So I think he'll be declassified from the race, which should gain some points for the Red Bulls. So it might not happen after all, but the fact that it's even a possibility is absolutely unbelievable, given where we were 10 laps ago. But anyway, Johnny Stokes just staying with Clemo for now, but it's getting harder and harder as his tyres get worse and worse. Through he goes, set to 2.7 of a second. Is he going to stay in range? 0.8 of a second. Can he stay in DRS? Only 2 laps to go after this one, so he'll feel like he has a good chance even if he does fall out of range. It's looking good for him for now. Here he goes through the final sector. Activation coming up after this corner as Martin gets past the AI. Here's the detection point, and yeah, Johnny Stokes in DRS range and should now be able to secure that 4th place. It could even be 3rd place if Marcus gets enough penalties, who knows with how this has gone. And it's looking as well like it's going to be an Aston Martin 1-2 in this race. all that's happened. Carlito is winning this race by a huge margin. GP7 is catching him, interestingly, but GP7 with the 3-second penalty, and Marcus 3.2 behind. So a quick look at penalties. Yeah, only 3 seconds to GP7. Same for Clemo, and same for Martin as well. What a crazy, crazy second stint in this race. 2 laps to go. Things have calmed down a bit now, but they're not going to be calm in the stewards' room. I promise you that. It's not going to be a good day for the stewards. But Johnny Stokes still staying in range of this Mercedes, and I think he is comfortably going to get that 4th place. It could even be 3rd after penalties exactly per lang. Marcus could lose a lot of positions here, or at least 2 to Clemo and Johnny Stokes if he gets a 5-second penalty for something. So many things happened, and if he only ended up with 5 seconds, I'd be shocked. But who knows, Martin might even not be bothered to report any of it. But since it's Marcus, he might well do anyway. But regardless, the gap's still coming down between Carlito and GP7. This newbie has made quite the impression today. He's made quite a few very crazy overtake attempts, it has to be said. Not all of them particularly clean, but he's up there in 2nd place. It looks like that's where he will finish. And as we go on to the final lap here, it's been a good day at the office for him. A good debut into ESRL, it has to be said. But we've got a ride on board with TTM Carlitos. He lost out the race win in Austria at the final corner to the current championship leader. He has led this race almost from the beginning. He's led nearly every lap as the Spaniard after taking pole position. It's been a masterclass from Carlito. It's been a long, long time coming, but finally Carlitos wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. What a drive from him. GP7 comes home for an Aston Martin 1-2. Marcus across the line for a podium. Will he keep it after stewards? Who knows? Johnny Stokes again picking up the pieces just like he did last season, all season long, to gain positions where he had no right to be. Johnny Stokes, 4th place, a great drive from him once again. Clemo, great recovery as well, up to P5 on the alternate strategy. Cialda's AI finishes P6, but he'll be declassified, so it's Martin in 6th place. It'll be Speed Alcoholic to come home in 7th after that contact with his teammate, which, well, we'll see how that goes down in the Discord chat afterwards. Jack Alaco is going to come round the final corner for a few points of his own. He comes home in 8th place, 4 points for him. Scott's going to come home in 9th for a couple of points of his own. And Trugster is going to score points today. Just the 1, but he finishes in P10. Remember, Cialda will be declassified because he was AI. Jonathan comes home in 11th place, just about missing out on points in his first ever ESRL race. And Quincy is going to come home 5 seconds behind for 12th place. Oof, I need a drink. And now that I'm getting a better look at that helmet from Quincy, by the way, I'm going to up his rating to an 8. That is a very nice helmet. Maybe even 8.5. Trugster still takes helmet of the day. But yeah, Quincy quite close there. Marcus can't wait to watch back. I don't know if you're going to be... I don't know if you're going to share that sentiment afterwards. Maybe after the stewards' reports come in, I'm sure. But Speed, yeah, says he got screwed over, and yeah, he certainly did. That is very, very unfortunate. He deserved a podium today, but nonetheless, it is Carlitos who takes his first ever ESRL win in the Aston Martin. GP7, the newbie for this week, comes home in second place. Great debut. Marcus in third. Will it be the same after stewards? Who knows? Johnny Stokes in P4. Could be P3 after stewards. Clemo in fifth. Good drive from him. Cialda's AI in sixth. Martin in sixth. Then after his declassification for Cialda, Speed Alcoholic seventh. Jacko eighth. Scott in ninth. And Trugster takes the final point with Quincy, Jonathan and Vader Boy the last of the finishers. Robin Brain, Tahasin, Aces vs Kings and Wumax DNFing before the end. So what a race that was. Crazy, absolutely crazy to watch. I'm glad you enjoyed it, at least, Marcus. So thank you all ever so much for watching today. I have had an absolute blast. It's great to be back in ESRL. Speed feels like he had the pace for P2. I 100% agree, mate. You definitely deserved a podium at least today. So very, very unlucky. But like I said, disaster day for Red Bull after it was looking like a great day for quite a while. But there we have it. Thank you all ever so much. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. And we'll see you next week for more ESRL. 3 rounds to go. And I'll update you on the championship standings at the beginning of the stream next Friday. Take care, everyone, and goodbye.